Lights, camera, action. A tentative deal has been reached between actors and major film and television studios, ending the strike that clobbered the entertainment industry for nearly 4 months. The deal won't immediately restore filming to full swing. That'll take months, of course, but the tentative agreement means that soon tens of thousands of entertainment sector workers could get back on the job. The 118-day soap opera in Hollywood is getting ready to exit stage left. Union power! Union power! The longest strike ever for film and television actors ended at 12:01 this morning. According to union officials, the tentative agreement will, quote, enable SAG-AFTRA members from every category to build sustainable careers.
We can really celebrate with this contract. I'm already thinking about the things I want to get in the next contract that we didn't get in this contract, but we broke so much ground. There is so much language in this contract that covers so much new ground that has never been in any other contract before.
More than 60,000 SAG-AFTRA members walked off sets on July 14th, joining screenwriters who had walked off the job more than 2 months earlier. It was the first time the two unions had been on strike together since 1960. The studios and writers reached a deal that brought their strike to an end back in September. But actors stayed on strike, with numerous complaints toward the top Hollywood brass, including the use of artificial intelligence without actors' consent.
It sounds like the actors got concessions on practically everything they wanted. They got raises, they got additions to their pension and health fund, and they got protections regarding the use of AI and digital imagery, which, at certain points it was suggested that they would be able to digitize an actor's license and use it in perpetuity without permission.
News of the tentative deal broke while several stars were on the red carpet at the Iron Claw premiere, which had received an interim agreement to promote the film throughout the strike.
The strike, we just heard moments ago, the strike is over.
That's amazing.
What does that make you feel in your heart, in your mind?
It makes me feel incredible.
Incredible. I'm so happy that we're all able to come to an agreement. Let's get back to work. Let's go. I'm so stoked.
And although some are already celebrating the end, a typical Hollywood happy ending hasn't been secured just yet. The tentative deal still needs to be ratified before it becomes official.
The board has to approve it tomorrow morning, and then from there, we get the member body to ratify it. And I feel like it's such a good contract.
Once the deal is ratified, actors should quickly return to movie sets where productions were paused, including Deadpool 3, Gladiator 2, and Wicked. Other movies and shows will restart shooting once returning writers finish scripts. Beyond scripted productions, the end of the strike also allows actors to return to red carpets, talk shows, and podcasts as Hollywood's awards season approaches. Joining us to talk a bit more about the details of the deal is media analyst Mohit Rajhans, who's covered the film business from an international perspective for over 20 years. Mohit, why was AI such a big point of contention in the strike talks?
It seemed like just when they were getting to the final details of what they wanted, the actors wanted, what was clear was that the definition of what technology and artificial intelligence was starting to change. It was starting to change in real time. In fact, if you start to look and peel through some of the details, you realize that the idea of what AI was introduced to the actors in the original part of the conversation up until now has already changed. They've used terms like digital twinning and digital impersonation, and what first generation of rights equals versus what the fifth generation of digital rights equals. So right now, we basically are seeing the actors looking at the prospect of AI and how it could potentially affect the actual industry, but they haven't been able to resolve for some of the problems that are on the horizons.
Were there any AI usages the union did approve of? And if so, how do they differ from what was being fought against?
This is where the details aren't very clear, Matt. On one hand, a lot of actors have openly spoken out about what they think are the guardrails when it comes down to use of AI. Justine Bateman, just the other day, was at an Access panel where she was discussing that she believed that the rules and guardrails should protect people to not be used if they're deceased, for example. But those details are what are being ratified right now in this agreement, in the SAG-AFTRA agreement. It'll be interesting because on one hand, you will see the concessions made about how companies are going to be able to use AI freely and be able to experiment with them. What you won't see is the direct access to revenue that actors are hoping to actually get from the use of their likeness. So there's still a lot of details that'll be worked out as a result, let's be honest, Matt, as a result of technology improving and being innovated at the same time.
What were some of the positives the union got out of the deal?
Well, definitely they're going back to work, and they're going back to work with terms and conditions that really do protect actors from some of the seasonality issues that were at hand when it came down to acting. Some studios going with a shorter season to be able to shoot a lot more. They're definitely going back to better working conditions on the idea of what they're able to do with digital content as a result of streamers paying some of the residuals that actors feel like they were due. But what's still not clear even in those models is what are the guarantees for actors that are going to continually be disrupted by all forms of technology, whether it is streaming, it is artificial intelligence, gaming, all of the languaging, dubbing. We're in a situation right now where the value of the actor, the idea of what they contribute to film and television is completely being reevaluated. And I think technology is at the heart of this conversation.
Bringing it closer to home, how will this new SAG-AFTRA agreement impact the Canadian film industry?
Well, this is where I have to say things are extremely positive. I love the fact that Canada hosts many Hollywood productions inside of its borders. And so coast to coast, there's a skilled labor set within Canada that's going to really celebrate the fact that SAG-AFTRA has signed this deal and hopefully are getting closer to ratifying it and getting back to work. There's also a post-production side of the business within Canada that has the ability to actually service some of this innovation that's needed in Hollywood. So it's going to be a great few years to see how Canada can grow with the demands of this industry as well.
All right, well, our viewers can find more of you and more of your insights at thinkstart.ca. Thanks so much for chatting with us, Mohit.
Thank you, Matt.